Dad actually started the regenerative movement on our farm, and then I read Gabe Browndick Soil, and that inspired me. The environment. Okay. Yeah, we wanted to do something. We're both environmentalists, so if any way we could help the environment and farm in the best way for the planet, that's what we wanted to do.
Personal motivation, but also I think if you sell to the end producer, then you have a product that you have to identify with. You have to explain why you're doing it that way, and so I think when you have the contact to the person buying it, you have to answer to everything you're doing.
I'm on a little mixed farm in Cambridgeshire. I love being outdoors, and I promised myself I'd never get an office job. And you feel like you're doing something for people by producing their food. Since going to the farm 15, 16 years ago, my parents have done minimal tillage or no tillage, and we don't really use fertiliser anymore. We use manure instead. Walking through one of our fields, we've got clover and grass, and the sheep and cows have been in there grazing, and like the amount of bees and insects and butterflies is like amazing. Like all you can hear is the buzzing of bees all around you, and you won't get that walking through like a neighbour's field. You need lots of bees and pollinators and insects to have a good crop. So you need to work with nature rather than just destroying it.
Your soil starts to smell nice. Before it kind of smelled like sewage, and now it smells like, you know, if you were to dig up a piece of grass, it actually smells sweet. Yeah, it's made us happier. We're happier people.
They seem to be banning the sprays that are any good. And obviously we want to come away from spraying because it's so expensive.
I think that balance is different for everyone. But I think it's also part of what makes me enjoy being on my land, is that knowing that there's going to be more and more wildlife to enjoy, and to hear the birds sing, and to see new insects, and to know that you're supporting nature as well as supporting humans by growing food.
So we've not had a yield drop. We've saved money in our labour, our fuel and our time. We have lost the money in that we've done lots of ventures. You have to experiment with these things in regen, but by experimenting you can sometimes make a bit of a loss. However, if you should follow the path of what other people have done and not experiment and then learn from everyone else, you would make a saving.
It's working really well for that. We're actually in a very sensitive catchment. We are very close to a river that has some rare species in it. And we were already involved in the protection of that river, and we've done a lot of work with cover crops, their impact on water infiltration and runoff. And because this was demonstrated under our noses on our land, well, of course we implemented it straight away. We didn't wait for the research to be written up. We could see the benefits on the trial plots.
Wow.
So regenerative agriculture is so much better for water management.
Yeah, we've got a stream at the bottom that is that divides our farm with our neighbours, and you can see the chemicals running off of our neighbours' fields into the stream. The one field on our farm where there's been a bit more tillage and bare ground, you can see the water run off, compared to other fields where there's not been that, there's not so much of it.
Other people, so us being different, people saying it's not going to work. Dad was the only person who did it in the whole area. There was no one else around doing it when he started. So we really had to push the boundaries and, you know, do it and then hope it worked and then hope he could prove them wrong. Kind of.
And now it's like everybody's scrambling to try and go, oh, what kind of methods is the best thing to do and all this, you know, and it's because it's tried and tested in other places and they're seeing the way it's better for them and how our environment is now changing and we actually need to do something about it.
Because I'm a tenant farmer, I'd rather see somebody else make the mistakes than know it's going to work. Because every piece of land has got to pay.
They're always climate change, aren't they? We've got our wonderful digester, but now for 3 years climate change has affected the germination and establishment of our crops. So we haven't been able to get the yields we need to make the amount of electricity that we could do.
We all have to learn, and I think we shouldn't fight each other, you know. And or people say, "Oh, I hate rewilding." I think that one of the arguments is that very prosperous people, very rich people, can afford to take land out of production and rewild it, and maybe that's not the kind of land you should be using for rewilding.
I don't know. We don't know yet. There's too many uncertainties.
I think that the UK should really start to look at the way that the supply chains are actually crippling the UK agricultural situation in the sense.
Do what you love doing and help the environment because that's the right thing to do, and you shouldn't let the fact that you're young or your gender or whatever stop you from doing that, so because that shouldn't matter.